Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm going to start with this. Sam Bankman-Fried faces more criminal charges from federal prosecutors. Federal prosecutors charged Sam Bankman-Fried with several additional financial crimes and offered expansive new details about the FTX founder's alleged conduct before the collapse of his cryptocurrency exchange. Now, we know all about the fraud that was going on. We also know about the money laundering through the Ukraine. White House unveils $2 billion in weapons for Ukraine on 1 year anniversary of Russian invasion. Now, we have a lot of problems here in the U.S. There's states where you can't drink the water. There's homeless people lining up our city streets all throughout this country, and nothing's being done about it, but yet we still keep sending help to the Ukraine. And I believe there's a reason for that. They want to keep this war going as long as possible because people are getting rich off of it. Green demands audit of Ukraine aid as White House pushes new $2 billion for Kiev. Marjorie Taylor Greene launched legislation on Friday to force the federal government to carry out a total audit of more than $114 billion in Navy and humanitarian support dispatched to the Ukraine more than a year earlier. Now, I feel she probably knows not all of this money is being used in the Ukraine, that some of it Zelensky is most likely pocketing as well. But I don't like the fact that we're still over there pushing forward with this because it's bringing us closer and closer to World War III. And I think it's time we pull out of there already, honestly. Breaking: top Hunter Biden associate now cooperating with Congress against the Biden family. And I still feel they want to get rid of Biden at some point. Like everybody's starting to work against him now all of a sudden. So we see here, the committee received information that Hunter Biden and James Biden, the presidential brother, have no plans to disclose all the information sought by Comer's committee regarding the first family's global business deals that garnered millions of dollars from the Ukraine and China. And I believe that's why we're still over there, because this president has interest in the Ukraine. And I believe he still works for China as well. So President Biden nominates crypto skeptic to lead World Bank. And everywhere you look, it looks like he's trying to work against crypto. So the World Bank is an international financial institution established in 1944 alongside the International Monetary Fund. Its goal is to provide loans to low and middle income countries to spur development as well as NGOs and environmental groups, while MasterCard has launched numerous partnerships and products to help spur crypto adoption. Banga has historically been opposed to the space. In 2018, he called cryptocurrencies junk while criticizing their volatile prices and the necessity of mining them in the case of Bitcoin. Why civil society would like to put a snake in its backyard and think that somehow the snake will only bite my neighbor, I don't get it, he said regarding Bitcoin at the time. In 2020, the same executive denied the claim that Bitcoin will help bank the unbanked again, citing its widely fluctuating market price. So this guy doesn't like crypto at all. And now the president put him in charge of the World Bank. And I'm still trying to figure out why we're pushing all of this innovation out of the U.S. I believe it's to benefit China. We'll talk more about that as well. Republican and Democrat senators call on Biden and Min to protect U.S. innovation from China. And other politicians are waking up and seeing the same trend I'm seeing. The flow of U.S. technology, talent, data, and capital into the People's Republic of China is a threat to the U.S. and its businesses, investors, and consumers, the press release explained. In a letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, the senators wrote, "It is widely known that the PRC's military-civil fusion program targets technological advancements in the U.S., as well as university and research partnerships in the U.S., for the PRC's military development." So it's not only our tech, it's our military tech as well that they're pushing out of this country. China's military-industrial complex and entities complicit in its genocide from benefiting from U.S. technology, talent, and investments. So the senators know what's going on, and they probably want the same answers we want. Why is innovation and why are U.S. companies not allowed to strive here in the U.S.? Why are they pushed out of the country? Congratulations, Gary Gensler. You just gave China the 21st century. Hong Kong's crypto hub ambitions win quiet backing from Beijing. China officials are mingling at crypto events in Hong Kong. Signs of support are bringing mainland firms back to the city because they're over there. They're pushing forward. Innovation's allowed to strive and grow. China, Zhou's Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler purposely hid mention of meetings with Hillary Clinton and the key details of a meeting with Dem ultra-radical billionaire George Soros from the American people. So why did Gary hide the meetings with George Soros? And again, I believe this guy is all about China as well. He wants to see China succeed while the U.S. fails. So is Gary helping this along by bringing the lawsuit against Ripple, a U.S. company? And I'm sure it's other companies as well. Look at the crypto space. It's in chaos right now because of Gary Gensler and the lack of regulations. The financial system is about to collapse. The warning signs are everywhere. FDIC has 125 billion to cover 9 trillion in deposits. And while innovation gets pushed out of the US and the current financial system begins to break down and the US dollar starts to collapse, that's exactly where we're going to be. The FDIC won't have enough money to cover your money in the banks. Then all of a sudden, bail-ins will happen. And it's just a matter of time because we've been pushing in this direction for a long time. The US dollar is likely to collapse either way in time. $31 trillion in debt and $100 trillion or so of unfunded liabilities with a worthless paper fiat currency that has already lost 95% of its purchasing power is unsustainable. And you can't just keep accumulating more and more debt. It's not going to work. And at some point, they're going to want that level playing field. It's all there to see. Get ready for a level playing field. Get ready for regulatory clarity and ISO 222 go live. Get ready for CBDCs issued via distributed ledger technology. And I believe that's why the Fed is getting ready for Fed Now to go live this year. I believe every country is pushing in this direction. They want that level playing field. But in the meantime, they want to get as much out of the current financial system as they possibly can before it totally falls apart. But it starts with innovation leaving the country and the US dollar losing its value and inflation skyrocketing and our debt ceiling, which they're definitely going to raise at some point and start printing money as well. It's just a matter of time, and then hyperinflation will show up along the way also. That's why you got to prepare for what's coming. Russia planning to roll out a CBDC in April. And Russia is fast-tracking all of this because they're moving so fast, the rest of the world has to keep up with them. I remember back in the summer of last year, I was saying, look at Russia's starting to really push ahead with the digital currency. They were backing their digital currency with palladium at that time. And I said, you got to keep an eye on Russia because they're fast tracking. The rest of the world will have to fast track also. And what happened next? Fed Now got talked about all of a sudden. And I believe 2030 is no longer the year. I believe maybe 2027. I think you could cut 3 years off of everything that was going to get advanced. And now it's going to happen much sooner. Ripple's budding CBDC ecosystem might be a target for the U.S. SEC. Ripple still has public support as prominent personalities predict a favorable summary judgment for Ripple. The SEC versus Ripple lawsuit has sparked an ongoing debate about the various. And maybe that's why Gary has Ripple in court. Ripple's budding CBDC ecosystem might be a target for the U.S. SEC. How do you let China get ahead of us? You hold back innovation. Who's calling the shots at the SEC? The big banks and most likely the top politicians as well, and George Soros. And I feel that's why Ripple is where it is right now. The good thing is, though, I believe Ripple has the money, and I feel this judge sees the corruption that's going on. And I feel somehow, some way, Ripple is going to pull this off. And when they do, XRP is absolutely going to take off in value. I think it's just a matter of time. But again, there's no reason that our government should be working against the people, but I feel it is, because you look around. Look at East Palestine, Ohio. They had that train derailment. This president that we have right now never even showed up out there. Instead, he went over to the Ukraine. There's a problem there when that happens. You know, if this was Trump, they would have definitely called for his impeachment. That would have been it. And nobody says anything about this president. They just let it continue. But I do feel they're working in the background somehow to take him out of that office. I believe he won't be the president probably in 2024, because all of a sudden, the same people that would always stand up for the president are now turning their back on him. And I don't want to see that happen. I still believe we're better with Biden in there than the vice president stepping up to be the president, because who knows what that could lead to. But with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. Always let me know what you think in the comments sections down below. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.